Welcome back to another episode of What About Dat? My name's Adair, and with the help of my friend Jen, we will be going over Supergirl Season 2, Episode 16, Star-Crossed, and the musical crossover on Flash, Episode 317, Duet. So sit back, relax, and ask yourself, what about that? All right, well, welcome everybody. How goes it? All right, so let's get to the synopsis of both of these episodes really quickly. I'm gonna do them all at once, because let's be honest, we all saw it. So here we go. Star-Crossed, episode 216 on Supergirl. A new villain guest starring Terry Hatcher comes to National City, putting Supergirl Melissa Benoist on high alert. Meanwhile, Wynn, Jeremy Jordan's girlfriend Lyra guest starring Tamsin Merchant, gets Wynn in trouble with the law. Maggie guest starred Florina Lima attempts to help Wynn, but old loyalties get in the way. The Music Meister, Darren Criss, attacks Supergirl. John Mendel directed this episode by Katie Ross Rogers and Jess Cardoz. So there we go. All right, so here we go with the Duet synopsis. Barry, Grant Gustin, and team are surprised when Mon-El, guest starring Chris Wood, and Hank Henshaw, guest starring David Harewood, arrive on Earth carrying a comatose Supergirl, guest starring Melissa Benoist, who was whammied by the Music Meister, guest starring Darren Criss. Unable to wake her up, they turn to Team Flash to save her. However, the Music Meister surprises the Flash and puts him in a similar coma, one that the Team Flash can't cure. Kara and Barry wake up without their powers in an alternative reality where life is like a musical and the only way to escape is by following the script, complete with singing and dancing. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So let's start with Supergirl. Jen, how did you feel about it?
How did you feel about it, Adair?
Oh, well. Actually, honestly, I thought this was kind of a meh episode. A little bland, but I watched it. I enjoyed things about it. I actually enjoyed the simplicity. Let's just talk about the things I loved, because that's really all I can talk about. The things that I loved in this episode was a theme. Theme is love. That's what we're going with the Duet and with this episode. I like the fact that it was kind of about the people who you love will lie to you. They will hurt you, even if they don't mean to. And, we got to learn how to deal with that. I kind of like that lesson being taught to people because people just think you have to be perfect. And even if you're in a good relationship, that it can't go wrong or you can't mess up, whatever. So I thought that was kind of a nice thing. Terry Hatcher, yes. You know how I like to clap for him. Give him that standing ovation, Terry. I really liked her. I liked kind of her menacing Katniss parallel. Let me rephrase that. Lillian parallel. I really appreciated that. Some of the things that she told Kara sounded mean, but when you thought about it, like from an outside, like, this is where she's coming from, it actually made a lot of sense. There was actually some points that I think Kara went over her head or she didn't want to admit, which is, I think, part of her lesson arc in these two episodes. I loved Lyra. Yes, Lyra. I love this character. I love this fact that in this episode we finally got to see a backstory. She hasn't just been Wynn's new hot, strangely not sure what her deal is girlfriend. We got she's a bad girl, but she's a good girl, but she's a bad girl, but she's a good girl, and that will lead to a mistrusting episode for Wynn, like something where he has to, deal with it and not just let it roll off. But I think that was great to see. What are they called? The makeup artist? The face-off people?
The dude who puts the makeup on.
Yeah, they are doing a way better job at Lyra's makeup. Because before it just looked like this really bad face piece that, the coloring was off. I think some of the coloration's still a little off, but it's getting better for me. I like the bad guy. His head looked like a zipper. It was just a really bad nightmares. I appreciate that. I love the Maggie and Wynn scenes. I thought that they were charming, and it was a cool dynamic, and we know that they play pool together now, and yeah, I was really a fan of that. I have to be honest, I really did like Chris Wood's acting at the end of the episode, because now that we know, I don't know if you know this, Jen, Chris Woods and Melissa Benoist are actually dating in real life. Carmel is an actual thing, guys. Hate to break it to you in real life and on the set. And I actually liked that scene because I thought that now he's dating her. In real life, the actor was able to emote and empathize with losing her by being an idiot and screwing up and loving her and wanting to be with her and then just not getting that, you know? And just the pain in his eyes, to me, was like, finally, the actor gets it because he is actually into Supergirl. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know.
So
There's no way to tell that. Like, I mean, even if they were dating, there's no way to say, oh, that happened before or after they shot this episode.
they've been dating for a while. It's like paparazzi photos.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying we don't know the timeline.
We don't know, but as an actor, to be so hollow in a romantic place,
I feel like you could easily read. That's a subjective thing.
Yeah, it can be very subjective, and things like that. So what did you like about this particular 216 episode, Jim?
I liked Win and his girlfriend Lyra, and I liked the Win and the Maggie scene where she confronts him about stealing the Van Gogh, and I thought that was good.
Mm-hmm. I thought that, sorry, I had to take a drink of my tea. I actually really thought that dynamic was great. Just Win and Maggie. We don't see much of them, obviously, like, together, but I don't know, it just felt very familiar. Something that Kara brings up in the Duet episode of mentioning that they had been seeing each other, Monel or whatever, for 9 months. And so I was telling Jen, I was like, wow, I just realized that pretty much Maggie and, Alex have known each other just that long. And because, she showed up the same episode that Monel did. And I think that's kind of cool. So I don't know what the timeline was when she told everybody that they were dating, but now, like, Win and her are hanging out. She has his phone number, like, they kick it. I think that's really cool. Oh, something that I forgot to mention. I really liked seeing Jimmy gardening with Alex. I thought that was actually really nifty. What do you have to say about that one?
It was nice to see Jimmy doing something in more than 2 scenes in this episode.
True.
It was nice to see him in costume and fighting, although I felt like I really, specifically the scene where they were fighting with Lyra against her henchmen, I was like, just put Alex in.
Yeah.
She's so much better.
She's like, where's Alex? But where's Alex? I was like, in my head.
Not in this scene.
I'm like, 3, 2.
Because this fight scene would be over. I was like, just give Alex a pool stick. Because that's all she needs. She doesn't need all that metal. Exactly. That's too much. It's hot.
In the summer heat. What's actually really funny is that, like, then she shows up and just, like, kicks everybody's ass. And you're like, see, this is what I'm talking about.
There's, like, a second part to that scene where she does show up and she, like, lays into people. I find it so exciting when she does stuff now because she gave us such a fabulous episode.
Of her
that
kicking
it's
ass.
Just like, I don't believe that she can't not kick that ass. You know what I mean? Like,
she's
sir,
gonna kick that ass.
alien with the butt spine on his head. I just felt like if Alex was there slightly sooner, that fight scene would have really taken off.
But, like, where were they doing that fight at? Not the one outside at the trailer park, but the one in the factory. Like, was that a glass factory? Like, what was happening?
I just felt like it was so stupid this episode, though. Like, of all the paintings of Vincent van Gogh.
Oh, because it's such galactic treasure.
Oh, my God. Why do aliens even want that?
Like, I just thought it was funny that they kept smashing Guardian through glass. I was like, really? Like,
he's in a warehouse and he just keeps getting
like, what is this nice, beautiful warehouse with a bunch of glass painted?
Guardian is really just there to get his ass kicked until somebody else shows up.
To prove to us why we don't want him to be a superhero.
And then if it's not Guardian, it's like Martian Manhunter. It's like, that's what those two characters are interchangeably used for. And I kind of had to laugh when I saw, like, when Monel's, like, telling his mom and dad, I'm a hero now. I'm like, really? I've been watching all these episodes. I've been thoroughly questioning what exactly your job is at the DEO.
What has he saved?
What do you do, sir? You don't actually train. You train once in a while. I don't understand. He gets a uniform, though,
I
but sometimes he does. Sometimes Monel is completely in black, And then other times he's wearing like flannel in this episode to work, you know? Whereas Kara wears the black, Alex wears the black, everyone wears the black, you know?
Well, Kara doesn't wear black. She wears either Supergirl or Kara.
Oh, okay. Maybe heroes don't have to wear
They have the
work
uniform. Yeah, that is her
well,
work
she has
uniform.
a uniform. But
her own
Mon-El has no uniform. He's just an alien who, like,
could kind of lift
does
stuff
there. And we don't really know, like, I don't really see him use his powers ever. So
I really like the Terry Hatcher and
Kevin Sorbo.
Kevin Sorbo. Now, let me be honest, guys. I actually think that Kevin Sorbo is going to be the softie of the parents, and Terry Hatcher is going to be like the bitch. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's going to be a thing, and I think Katniss is going to be a thing. I think Terry Hatcher is going to get in with Katniss because
I think that's too many mothers being bitchy, though.
It is 100% too many mothers being bitchy.
And the dad's gonna be redeemed.
But that's the only way we're gonna do
Kevin
Jeremiah.
and Jeremiah get to be the redeemed ones.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. The
fair.
father's being redeemed, but the mom's a big
Sexist.
cunt.
All right.
And I said it on TV or YouTube. Either way.
You bitch, mother. Right.
But
so far, Lena has a bitch mom.
everybody's mom's an asshole.
Mon-El has a bitch mom.
Right? Well, except
Kara.
for Kara's mom's cool. Well, no, actually,
Yeah.
Kara's mom, real mom who died on Dax,
I was gonna say, yeah.
on Krypton's
Kara's
kind of a
mom's
dick.
Terrible.
I mean, nice person, but
Terrible
blew up
shit.
the whole place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the dads are always trying to do stuff to protect their
But
children.
like just the wrong choices.
The wrong choices.
Well,
That's what this show is.
just wrong choices. I liked. What was it that I was thinking about in this episode? Yeah, like I just like Win.
There was
I'm
just
glad to
not
see
that
him be
much
kind of a badass.
substance. Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying his best. Anyways, yeah. So that's really 216. I mean, Mon-El, Kara, that happened. We saw it. It was what it was.
I feel like you could really summarize the Mon-El Kara storyline. Like a lot of build up. They finally get together in the last 2 episodes. And then after 2 episodes of them being like a couple, in this episode they break up. I personally don't feel like the breakup was the end of them actually being broke up. I feel like it was just conveniently the story plot that they used to get into the musical.
Well, yeah, and we all know he's in season 3, so he's around for a while, guys. Hard to get rid of him.
How do you know he's in season 3?
They've already kind of announced the cast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna be there. Anywho, all right, let's move on to the duets because 216 Supergirl, I give it like a C.
Yeah.
Maybe a C minus.
I would say C. Story, I was mostly excited by Win.
Yeah, I would say B plus Win story.
B plus Win.
C
I
minus.
enjoyed that they didn't make Lyra like a complete villain, that she still had some redeemable qualities.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the best part. I enjoyed Win, and I felt like all the Mon-El Kara stuff, I can't even really remember it.
No, 100%.
It's just like, I don't know what happened.
I
He
also-
was pouty eyes.
I loved Kyler's little ad lib of "Take Me Home" because the way they cut it, I knew that was not a scripted line. So I was like, Mazel tov, I appreciated it. And I just, the kiss on cheek, it's just cute. They're like just a cute couple. Also, that's what I forgot to mention. I really appreciate Maggie being very professional. She knows how to separate the relationship from the work. Like she says, I don't come into your DEO telling you what to do. You don't come into my precinct questioning me. And I actually really appreciate that in their relationship. Like, we're not going to fight over work. We help each other, even if we're going to go outside of our work to do some, vigilante stuff, you're going to help me. I like that. They're not going to, so far, they're not going to fight about work. And I respect that. I think that's really kind of cool. I wish all the other couples would fucking do that. But
Actually, I was going to say, that's one thing I really enjoyed about this episode. I feel like I don't really want to speak to Mon-El and Kara's relationship, but I really enjoyed this episode because I feel like what it did with Win and Lyra was it kind of was the episode that brought it to this almost to the same level as Sandverse, where they gave it so much like more story padding relationship things that I feel like they're really doing the work. So now you have like 3 great sub-characters and 3 great sub-relationships. You have Sandverse, which is like a pillar of the show. You have Win and Lyra. Yeah. And then you have Megan and Jean. And these are like 3 superly, amazingly developed relationships. And I just feel like the main meat and potatoes, the Kara and the Manal they still, to me, have yet to get there, and that's partially because of the rushedness into the coupleness and then how quickly they break them up. When I see a couple breaking up quickly, I just feel like it takes away from me buying into their, I'm not as invested in them.
Yeah.
Like, even as they get back together, I won't be as invested. So it's just, it kind of breaks up.
Sorry, guys, the mic's going to get a little shaky real quick.
Breaks
I'm just
up that synergy.
Readjust that.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. That was like a C episode. It was a bridge.
Yeah, it was a bridge.
It was a bridge into
I liked
the
beginning. I liked the way, Darren Criss entered. I loved the, kind of flamboyant.
Oh, you're starting with the Flash.
Well, I was ending with the Supergirl. Okay. I like how he entered. And I liked, he's like, oh, please, if I was going to get caught. Like, it's all a plan. It's all a ruse. It already started off very much in the same way Mr. and Mrs. Spickett. That was close.
I was thinking the same thing.
How he started, where it was very whimsical in that regard. Mm-hmm. Also, I was watching somebody's podcast, not podcast, but YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned something, and I was like, "You right, you real right." They were like, "Why is John like announcing the bad guy? Like, we have a new, villain. We got to stay on our toes." But like, why do we have to stay on our toes? What's going on? We didn't really have to stay on our toes because he pretty much came there for like one reason. And while everybody was on their toes, nothing got done until he like whammied Kara. So.
Where did the term whammy come from? I was just like, what?
They just used it.
Calling everything a whammy.
Well, they used it. That's the thing. That was the word of the day. Whammy.
Word of the day. I'm gonna whammy your ass.
Hey, some people like that.
I'm just saying. Okay. So The Flash. I have never watched an episode of Flash until today, watching this crossover.
Congratulations.
I feel like if they wanted Supergirl viewers to watch The Flash, they succeeded. So Adara was explaining to me who people were and what they were doing. I was like, who is this guy? And why is he wearing a funny yellow outfit throughout the whole show? Flash Kid? Why do you need a Flash Kid? He's clearly a man. You guys missed all of that. Yelling at the TV today.
Just with a lot of questions. And I was like...
I was scratching my head.
I'm going to need you to just watch Flash.
I was like, does he need the goggles to zap in and out of the dimensions? Or can he just take those off? I was very confused, but I got the premise. It was all about the love. The lurve.
Yes, exactly.
Can I say, just because you have the picture up, I appreciated the incorporation of the Hispanics into the show.
Oh, yes.
Because the diversity was refreshing. I think Supergirl should get... Oh, they do have Hispanic.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit more diversity in the Flash, but because we have Lima, we have Joan. But that's about it.
And Megan.
And Megan, but she's gone.
And Jimmy.
But Megan is gone.
I like seeing... Yeah, it was good.
People of color.
The
POC. I like seeing the POCs.
Yeah, I think The Flash, there's a little bit more to talk about. I think where I want to start talking is about Darren Criss, because, oh my God, was it so good to see Blaine?
Well, let's just read off the list of these people in this musical episode. Okay. For those of you who aren't in the know, we have Jesse L. Martin from Rent, original OBC cast, please and thank you, Tom Collins. We have Victor Garber from God knows how many Broadway musicals.
Alias.
And from the TV show Alias, exactly. We have Carlos Valdez, which I actually don't know what he's been in. Boy can sing. Jeremy Jordan, in all of his tenor glory. He was in Newsies on Broadway. He was in the Last 5 Years musical movie. Not the best movie, not gonna lie, but the best musical for sure. Don't watch the movie before you listen to the CD. It'll ruin your life. Anyways, Then we have John Barrowman. Oh, Jesus. You know what I'm talking about. And he has been on Broadway, Firefly. He was on Doctor Who. Like, he's been everywhere. These people can sing their face off. Like, thank you. One thing I was really feeling about this musical, because of Darren Criss and everybody, that they got real talent. They didn't get actors who can carry a tune. They got real singers. It felt more like watching Chicago the movie than it did like watching Glee. Because Glee, yeah, it's very staged. There's a few times where I wish the sound cues were a little smoother or like not so loud and I was in the studio singing this. But it felt more like Chicago. It was a little bit more seamless in that regard. It wasn't necessarily like, and here's a fantasy dream. I also appreciate that they didn't beat us over the head. They gave us 5 musical numbers. 5. That was it. They gave us Moon River. They gave us Put a Little Love in Your Heart. They gave us More I Cannot Wish You from Guys and Dolls. And they gave us Running Home. I forget who the artist is. 5 songs for a whole musical that people had their panties in a bunch. So, now we get Darren Criss with his sexy hair, and he looks fabulous, by the way.
I thought his styling was lovely. I really enjoyed the way they ungelled his hair, because he's always had that wispy hair.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved his hair specifically in this episode.
Got to be normal hair.
He looked thinner, too.
He looks really thin, but then again, he did do How to Succeed in Business on Broadway for a while, and that's a heavy choreographed show. He was
in Hedwig.
He sure was in Hedwig, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. Hedwig in the what?
Angry Inch.
And then but that was early, right after Glee. And then he was, I don't know, but
yeah,
he looked really thin. But he was thin on Glee. He always wore really thin, like tucked in the shirt to the pants kind of thing. But it was nice to see him kind of play like a derailed Blaine.
Pretty much, that's exactly what it was. More like, I am a bad guy, but I'm a good guy because I'm going to do dumb shit to make good people figure out their lives.
And his character was it was just so great seeing him. And yeah, there was nothing. It was nonsensical.
I liked, actually, the plot. I liked the fact that it was much about, like, in Supergirl, people who love you will lie to you. And in this, it was, you need to know that sometimes people who you love will lie to you. And is it because you are unable to listen and to open up, so it's made it hard for them to be honest? Like, Carr was always apologizing to Alex for not listening or creating a safe space or a place that they can talk. But when Monel doesn't do it, she's like, how dare you? It's like, come on, technically, she did learn the lesson of if she would have listened. Yeah, she was a little racist. Let's be honest. Carr's a little racist towards Daxamites. Like, that's just a thing she, has, okay? And so I think facing that and facing the fact that she really didn't listen to him was interesting. It was a new turn. I appreciated her lesson that she learned. I appreciated the fact that the musical was it wasn't random, but it was random. Like, it was fun. It was just, literally, the whole point of the musical was to show them that lesson, that they need to listen, and that it is okay, as Darren Criss says, to have somebody else save you and not be the one always saving somebody. Because I know a lot of us out there who are givers tend to give so much of ourselves that we actually become shells and become hard, and we're unable to see kind of outside influences anymore because we're so used to doing everything on our own, giving or being there and being the strong one, And it's hard to, when you're in that role, to give up that control, to give up that safety blanket and let somebody else save you. So I appreciated the thought of the show. I loved Jesse L. Martin and Victor Garber being dads. I thought that was randomly beautiful because Jesse L. Martin's always playing a gay guy, which I think is great. And Victor Garber is gay as all daisies. So is John Barrow, actually. He's just like flaming. I love that.
It was refreshing to see
a lot of representation.
Gay men in a musical.
They had to get the gay in there somehow. I mean, everybody goes, Supergirl's pretty gay. We brought it to The Flash. We got the gay dads for no reason.
The Flash. I mean, I found myself shipping so many people. Wynn and the guy with the goggles, Cisco.
Cisco.
I was
That's a bro
ship
TP
it.
I would love to see.
I would ship that as a romantic man couple.
Jim goes, how did he get the portal working? I was like, he's the wind of this
I was like, how
show.
does he open portals? And she was like,
because, Win knows how to just fix stuff.
do
Just
shit.
like
This
Cisco knows
guy
how to
does
do
the
shit.
that nobody knows how to do.
Okay,
on the
guys,
show.
question. Who do you think is smarter, Win or Cisco? I personally think Cisco because he opens portals. Win hasn't opened his own portal yet on his own.
In the Slavers episode of Supergirl, he opened the portal.
Well,
he reopened the portal.
Yeah, he reopened it, but he didn't create it.
Right, I'm just
He
saying.
also fixed
he
Cisco's.
figured that out, and
yeah.
that was alien technology.
So, anyways, what do you guys think? Who do you think is smarter, Win or Cisco?
I'm not talking about ships. Win and Cisco were delightful to watch together.
Yes, they're singing. Done.
I thought you were like, this wasn't cheesy over the top musical. I was like, did you hear Win's accent?
Oh.
It's 1920s.
He's like, hey, Mercy, hey, welcome to the club, guys.
For no reason. No one else is talking like that. Just him. And I appreciated that.
It was so bizarre.
The gay dads was hilarious. Watching Iris and Monel make out was funny as hell. Funny as shit.
I loved watching Kara watch Monel and Iris.
See, I didn't even watch The Flash, but I enjoyed the way Grant Gustin.
No, Grant Gustin.
I enjoyed the way he responded, like, what the hell's going on?
I
liked his response, but I also was like, hey, Monel and Iris, they got something going on. And then also, I enjoyed watching The Flash and Supergirl. I just feel like it's the actor, Chris Pine, or what's his name?
Chris Woods?
Chris Woods.
Not Chris
I
Pine.
just
We
feel
love
like he
Chris
doesn't
Pine.
really have, whatever the chemistry is, because, I swear to God, Mr. Spitlick, I was like, that's adorable. I could ship that. I could get behind that Kara Spicklick love. And then there was the Music Meister, Darren, Chris. I was like, they know each other. That's there. But just that moment where he walks into the scene and he makes eye contact with her and they just kind of hold each other's eyes. I was like, oh, that's adorable. I could ship that too. And then the Flash and Supergirl, I was like, they look like an adorable couple, in their little 1920 clothing,
everybody
walking around.
loves Barry
I was like,
Allen and
I
Kara.
could ship that as well. And I just, at the end of the day, I just see Monel being like, Kara, listen to me. And I'm like,
I laughed very hard because when they got shot, spoiler alert, in the Flash.
The Beauty and the Beast.
Well, the Beauty and the Beast wake up call made me laugh because it's very timely. But Jin goes, well, I guess Kara dies.
Well, because the Flash
kissed her. It was like, I love
Iris
you.
kisses the Flash. Yeah. And then it's a cutaway. You don't see Kara get a kiss. And I was like, oh, Kara's gonna die.
And this is what beats are important, kids. This is why it's important because they cut away to show Barry waking up, and we're like, well, I guess Kara died.
She's dead.
And then they cut back to the mind, and Monel's like, oh, right, let me follow his lead.
Right.
I was like, I was waiting for Kara to lean up and be like, bring Lena.
She wakes up, she opens her eye. Lena. And I just see, and the thing is, it's not the girl, because clearly she could have chemistry with Spicklick, Music Meister,
Cardboard.
Flash,
it doesn't really matter.
Lena, Jimmy Olsen, Win. I could
literally
ship her
she's
with
had all the
anybody. But so if it's not her,
Clearly.
then it's gotta be
the actor,
somebody whose name rhymes with
It's Ryan. It's Rud.
Canal.
Actually, something that was funny, and we both have to admit, kudos to you, Chris Woods, for the comedy timing. He has good comedic timing. He really does. It was when he's like, oh, I'm her friend. Boyfriend. And then John Jones with the smooth, cock block. He goes, but I thought you broke up.
Straight face.
And Monel just goes,
The little, that was a good little beat that
that was a really great beat. And it was also delivered really good by John, because it was just so straight face. I thought you got broken up with.
I think my favorite in terms of musical numbers, because I want to talk about those.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed the beginning. I wanted to see a little bit more Darren Criss singing, just because he's wonderful. Oh my gosh. The Moon River was adorable. It was so cute.
It's so cute.
It was so cute. I miss her from Glee. I watched her on Glee. I loved her voice.
Melissa's voice is awesome.
And then the dance number, I just loved watching Darren Criss do the little choreography in the opening dance number.
Put a little love in your heart.
When playing the piano was adorable.
I loved Barry Allen getting into the dance. Like, he was kind of getting swept away. So, like, you see him doing, like, marking the choreography, which I thought was really cute.
Right, the Flash, he was so lovely to watch in that tap number about being super friends.
Super Friends. Okay, sorry, so 6 songs. I did miss something. Super Friends. That was, the Rachel Bloom wrote that from My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
That is adorable. That was the best.
It is.
Because it was so
original and so cute and exactly their personalities.
And you could hear the Rachel Bloom's comedic.
Oh yeah, 100%. Her cadence,
that was there.
Yeah, 100%.
And I loved the tap dancing, and I was really surprised by how well they both could tap. I never saw them do that on Glee, so that was exciting.
Yeah, apparently in an interview,
the Barry Allen guy.
Grant Gustin. Yeah, he was in rehearsal for hours, which makes sense.
He's a tapper.
There he is.
It looked great.
It was adorable. It was very reminiscent of old Hollywood. I appreciated that. I appreciated that it was. Looked good.
I felt so happy for Flash fans because I don't watch it, but at that end when he sang the final song to
Run Home to Iris, yes.
I had no idea what that was about, but I was like, this is like adorable sentiment.
Yeah, I thought
if I were a girl, I'd be clutching my pearls, and if I watched The Flash and knew what was happening.
Just to be clear, Jen is a girl, and she was watching The Flash.
I wasn't clutching my pearls.
But she wasn't clutching her pearls.
But
so what you were saying is she was an emotional girl who was into that shit.
Follows The Flash, and knows all 3 years of this couple's relationship, then I would be all about that moment.
Yeah, it was like a super cute moment. Like,
it's hard to not be about that moment.
And you know he was like singing along to the track that they have. And so like that had to be cute for her, like sitting there. This guy's like super dreamy and he's singing to her and he's like proposing, which is like so adorable.
Cute. I loved one of the things I really enjoyed about Barry Allen, the Flash actor. I loved how they were both in this musical, and I enjoyed how subtle he was with the comedy in this episode, and how like earnest he was. That's a kind of an interesting word to use, but earnest in his delivery, where it was really not over the top, and it was really sweet. And there was even, and I feel like Kara got all like the great lines in this episode, being the guest star. She got to say all the hilarious stuff,
like but bums.
She got she got the puns, when they're shooting, they're shooting bullets at them, and she's like, I wish I could be bulletproof. Or
I'm really sad I'm not bulletproof.
I'm really sad I'm not bulletproof. And then she had another one about being like, it was when they were being held hostage, and she kept making Wizard of Oz jokes.
He's like
throughout this whole thing.
And you're going to or not ease on down the road, that's the Wiz. Follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, she had this cheesy line.
And he's like,
what are you gonna do next?
Follow the script.
Follow the yellow brick road. Yeah, she just was really sweet in her delivery. So she got some cheesy Rama lines and made it work, and I enjoyed that about her.
True.
In general.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the trio. I'm sorry, I just love those 3 men singing.
The only thing that Adair had as a criticism, I'm going to say it because I feel like...
Because I hadn't got to it yet. Yeah, go ahead.
Was if you could change out any actor in this episode, you'd swap Hank Henshaw for Alex. Because they could have been interchangeable.
Honestly, the only reason why Manhunter's there, once again, he's very much like the Guardian, is he just knocked him out, one punch. That was why he was there, to punch and to give Manel that one joke boost, which could have happened with Alex, which would have been funnier.
Either.
Well, Florina Lima doesn't know how to sing, so she's like, "Don't put me down for the musical."
I just love her timing of comedy, though. I feel like I would love to see her give a few good burns with Manel and her.
True. I don't know if they're that close yet, but but
the humor's there.
But I could definitely see freaking Alex but I thought you were dumped, and just that sister just laying down, laying down the cock block, and then the fact that the one person who Kara cares about the most in the world is her sister. So I don't know why she wouldn't be in her mind, given the fact that they were taking things from their mind, and her adopted family was the one who introduced her to Wizard of Oz. So you would assume Kyler would have been singing something. You know what I would have loved? Guys, oh my goodness, I just thought this.
to sing How to Save a Life. Just kidding.
That'd have been funny. No, the perfect place for Kyler to have been in, right after they finished their We're Super Friends song, they go outside. I would have loved to see Kyler go up next and do some kind of crazy jazzy fun song while the shootout was happening. That would have been a really cool place. And then maybe if she hit a note, that's when they both get shot and it gets really serious. And then we could have faded in, you know what I'm saying? Something. That would have been great.
She's directing the end of the episode.
I wanted to see more.
Rewrite.
Yeah, a rewrite. Kyler girl, where you at?
Yeah, she has musical experience.
Homegirl could sing her face off, and I'm just really disappointed that the one time we get a damn musical, they're we're gonna nix her. I mean,
Darren Criss did not die, and he only really came to teach them all a lesson.
He's the musical version of Mary Poppins, except with no children and no abusive parents. Actually, tons of abusive parents.
Well, you said that the guy who was the Flash would make a really good
Bert in Mary Poppins.
I think so too. They're shooting it right now.
Yeah, even though Lin-Manuel is going to be...
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is... Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to be Bert in the new Mary Poppins. I look forward to his
Cockney accent.
It's going to be something. I doubt he's going to do that. But that really will be funny if he tries it.
If he does, I'm going to be laughing.
I'm like, oh, lordy. That's actually really funny. I didn't even think about that. Oh, that'd be great. But I could totally see him being definitely like a Bert. He had a very Dick Van Dyke quality to him while he was dancing. And that lightness. Didn't remind me of Fred Astaire.
Oh.
But it definitely reminded me of...
what's his name?
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, Grant
Gustin. Yeah.
I thought we were still talking about Lin-Manuel for a
That
second.
still cracks me up. No. Lin-Manuel's not
I'm like, he taps too? I don't know. I didn't.
No, I don't think he does.
I don't have tickets to that show.
I honestly don't think he... I think he just writes musicals, occasionally raps, and sometimes could keep a tune, but he's not really a singer nor dancer. And I'm wondering how I'm not on Broadway. That's long stories. I'm like, I don't get it. Anyways, I really love this episode. I think it was fun.
Both episodes were fun.
The other episode was meh. I get it. It was a good setup. It was a good volley for the spike, which was the musical
I've been waiting
episode.
for some Win, so I'm happy with it.
True.
I mean, yeah.
When was I honestly like Lyra and Wynn's story for Supergirl?
They saved the episode. If it hadn't been for that storyline, I would be a bored woman.
Now, my question is, was Kara and Mon-El the main story, or was it Wynn and Lyra? Because I feel like Wynn, being a B character, had an A arc, which I thought was great. Him and Lyra. And then I thought the two main characters, like Supergirl, once again... Even though it's her show, she was not doing much.
Well, it was kind of like the couples were both faced with the same situation, which is their loved one had lied to them.
Yes.
And then they both chose two different things. Like, for Wynn and Lyra, it brought them closer together. And for Kara and Mon-El, it tore them apart.
I'm loving that.
And I feel like it was to juxtapose. And so you had, more of a story A and B. And B kind of blurred the lines with A because you really didn't have C because C didn't show up till the very end with the Music Meister.
True.
And I really, like I said, enjoyed Maggie. I can't wait. I hope she becomes a regular.
Yeah. I like Florina. I really do.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to the costume designer once again for both. Even though Terry Hatcher, her outfit's awesome, as a Daxamite. But the Flash episode, because they're all in Canada, sharing the same space, and they're, pretty much a superhero hero village, I do believe they have the same costumers, or at least they're all working in cahoots to have the same kind of palette. I really, really liked the costuming. Melissa looked fantastic.
In the musical episode?
Yeah, in her black, and it was sheer, but kind of pinstripe, but it was absolutely gorgeous. And then her hat, I could not get over it. I wanted it so bad. The white hat that kind of came to the side. Yes, please, and thank you. I thought the men looked dapper. I thought the girl who plays Iris looked great.
Yeah.
Jesse L. Martin and all them, they looked like gangsters. It was great.
About the musical episode, just, to bring us back to Alex and her presence, I felt like it was missing another female singer in the, because it's so male strong.
Literally, only Cara was the only female to sing, because Iris
didn't sing enough for her to be the only female to sing. I would love to have seen like a number with her and all the boys, maybe. Mm-hmm. I didn't get that Roxy Hart moment that I thought I was going to get from this episode, and I felt like I really wanted to see that. You have all these strong male singers, one diva-ass lady, and no other females singing.
Yeah.
If they didn't have her or utilize her to that capacity, then I felt like, yeah, you could have had another female voice.
You know what would have been funny, too? Even having, Alex be kind of the almost pair to Cisco, which didn't get a lot of he didn't get a lot of play either. Carlos Valdez.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, I have a storyline, I have a dream, I want to be something.
He took them to like their apartment, their musical apartment, where they saw Monel and the other chick making out.
Which we already said we like that.
It was the help. He didn't have one costume change. He stayed in that gray jacket the whole time.
Legit easiest day of work in his life. All right, so yeah, that's all I got. I mean, I was really excited about it. I love the musical. I would give the musical a B+. Honestly.
I can't give it a B.
I would give it a B+ because the singing talent was phenomenal. Oh, the reason why it's not an A for me, musically, the music transitions were whack. And when I mean whack, the volume. So, like, if we're talking like this, and he's like, oh, I'm going to do something, and all of a sudden it's like, I've been, it's like, why is it so loud? Like, can we, like, not be so loud? He could have transitioned thinner, anyways. I'm dying, guys. Don't, come save me. Monel, where's my survival kiss? Somebody call Lena. Somebody call Maggie.
Anyone.
Anybody but Monel.
She'll take anyone. She's not picky.
What? No. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so I really liked it. I think it was a B+. Love the singing. I want more. This is my own personal thing. As a singer, I want more actors, or if we're going to do musicals, people who sing. Get the Broadway cast. Get people who their training was singing, and then, yes, they can act as well. Because I'm kind of getting tired of actors who can carry a note, but that's not their main craft, and so it's always falling flat. And so when people hear musicals, they're like, boo, it's going to be a musical. There's so much hate online about a musical episode. And it's like, guys, musical episodes are fun. Musical episodes, a kid's going to watch and go, I want to be that. We had Fred Astaire. We had Ginger Rogers. We had
two dads.
We had Debbie Reynolds. We had, all these people to come before us who were glamorous while they danced. If you've never seen it, watch On the Town. It's fun. It's, it's brassy. It's totally like...
Three dudes trying to hook it up.
It's a funny shit.
That's the whole concept.
Yeah, I know. And the women are strong, and they're like, we're not having none of your shit. And it's great, but there's tapping, there's dancing.
But they do hook it up.
Yeah, well, they do hook it up, of course, yeah. Back in the day. But, there are great musicals, and that's how children and stuff grow up to be actors and grow up to do our favorite shows. So when you're knocking musicals, you're really knocking a lot of the other forms as well, because that's how a lot of kids and people get into acting. They see a musical. They might see a play or something and go, I want to be that. Melissa Benoist, Grant Gustin, that's how they grew up. We love them as Supergirl and The Flash. They grew up watching musicals. That was their training, So I, as a singer, would love to see more singers who can act in these television spots doing, a musical or whatever. That's just my own piece. Any last thoughts there, Jen?
I'd like to see more Kevin Sorbo and Terry Hatcher and Supergirl doing more exciting evil things.
I want to see more Kevin Sorbo.
Right. Indeed. He was so flat, but,
I think that they're going to make Kevin Sorbo the good parent, quote unquote, the softer parent. Who wants to follow his own dreams. Like, he didn't want to marry his mother, but he got forced into it, so now he's a bad guy, that kind of thing. So I would like to see that, because as a king, he wasn't being too kingy of, like, woman, be quiet. Like, it's just like, yes, dear.
I don't know. I feel like he has more to give.
He has more to give. He's Hercules, for crying out loud. He has more to give.
All right, I think that's all. I enjoyed both episodes and look forward to next week where we...
Yeah, it's 217. I do not know the name of that episode, but we will be doing a promo, and we're going to post that pretty much after this. So, yeah. Have a good night, guys, and we will see you later. And make sure you go to our Twitter, whatabout_dat. And, send us some questions and some things you want to talk about. Have a good night, guys. Bye.